on, guys? It's your boy Dylan the Villain coming back at you once again with some more Total Extreme Wrestling 2020. It is Thursday, week 4, October 1997. We have just a few more days until the No Mercy pay-per-view in a pre-show bout that had terrible wrestling, non-existent crowd heat. TNA defeats the team of Test and Albert. Defeat the Headbangers when Test pinned out with an impact attack, which is the tag team finish of A-Train and Test. This match got a 50, not bad at all. Thrasher with a 42, Mosh with a 41, Test with a 47, and A-Train with a 52. Mosh and Thrasher have the tag team specialist bonus, and announcing the color commentary gave the match a boost. Test and A-Train, apparently he's going by A-Train, or Albert, but A-Train are a tag team in our own developmental company, and it might be time to call them up. They have the pop. They're one of the biggest tag teams in WWE developmental, and it might be time to call them up and start tell them that, hey, start prepping them to be called up and everything like that, to get them on the main roster and get some fresh faces. I'm kind of hurting in tag teams. Some tag team partners failed drug test and they're out, and we're kind of hurting on tag teams, so they're definitely on the list of getting called up here. This match got a 52, not bad middle match. We move on to our pre-show main event, which is Lance Storm taking on Rick Steiner, and Lance Storm beats Rick Steiner by submission with a single leg crab. Rick Steiner with a 67 and Lance Storm with a 65. Announcing color commentary gave the match a boost, and this match got a 71. Not bad, Lance Storm in the pre-show here. Not bad at all. We are going to move on to the next segment here tonight, which is our opening segment. We start the show with Shane McMahon in his office as Owen Hart walks in. And Owen Hart says, "You wanted to see me?" Shane goes, "Yes. As you know, now that I am the acting commissioner of the World Wrestling Federation, I have the power to book matches, and I have the power to grant matches. While you were competing against Doolove on Monday Night Raw, your brother requested that not only do y'all have a match at the pay-per-view, but to get him in wrestling condition, that he wanted a tag team match with you tonight." And Owen goes, "Okay, yeah, no problem. I would love to embarrass him before the pay-per-view also." Shane goes, "All right, well, there you go. That's tonight's main event. We're going to have ourselves a tag team match between Owen and Brett." And Owen's just like, "All right, yeah, I got the perfect partner in mind." So we move on to our next segment, which is our opening contest of Eddie Guerrero taking on our WWF Light Heavyweight Champion, I might add, Eddie Guerrero, taking on Mark Mero, and Eddie Guerrero with a 94 defeats Mark Mero by pinfall after a frog splash. Eddie Guerrero is, damn, I knew he was over, but, damn, that update, boy, definitely fixed the ratings for my product and everything like that. Before, my product was more on how popular they were over their in-ring skills, and now I guess it's factoring their in-ring stuff also, because he has a 94. I think his pop's like mid 80s, Eddie Guerrero, like 83, 84. So, yeah. He beats Mark Merrow in a match. And after the match got an 84. Not bad at all. Eddie Guerrero with a 94. Mark Merrow with a 57. Announcing gave the match a boost. Sable did some good ring work. And after the match, Eddie cuts a promo on Ultimo Dragon. As you know, for those longtime viewers of the save, Eddie Guerrero basically said, look, I already beat Ultimo Dragon. I beat him many a times. And you know, why should I have to put my championship on the line against somebody that I already beat when they don't have to put nothing up in return? So he says, if he has to put something that he loves on the line, then Ultimo Dragon's going to have to put something that he loves on the line. And Eddie Guerrero says, if Ultimo wants a shot at my title, then he's going to have to put his mask on the line. Ultimo agreed. It will be a mask versus title match at No Mercy, where Eddie Guerrero will put his title on the line versus Ultimo Dragon's mask. A title versus mask match. This segment got a 93. Eddie Guerrero basically cutting a promo on Ultimo Dragon, saying that I'm going to beat Ultimo Dragon. I'm going to take his mask. I'm going to take his legacy. I'm going to send him back to Japan where he belongs. He doesn't belong in the World Wrestling Federation. Hell, he doesn't even belong in WCW. He belongs somewhere to where you fans will forget about him and never have to see him ever again. We're going to move on to the next segment. It is a tag team match between the Hollies and the Legion of Doom. And the Hollies pick up the win over the Legion of Doom when Bob Holly pinned Road Warrior Animal with a Falcon's Arrow. This match got a 70. Crash Holly with a 56. Bob Holly with a 62. Road Warrior Hawk with a 71. And Road Warrior Animal with a 64. Road Warrior Animal and Hawk have excellent chemistry together. They also have the tag team specialist bonus. Announcing color commentary gave the match a boost. The match got a 70. Not bad. I thought it wasn't going to do that great. But we're going to move on to the next segment. I'm trying to bang through these segments. What was this? Ah, yes. We see Shane McMahon, Jim Cornette, and RVD. As you know, Jim Cornette is Rob Van Dam's manager. And he comes in there. And he goes, you called us in here? Shane's like, yeah. I know that y'all are looking forward to y'all's pay-per-view matchup against Sabu. I mean, we've pretty much been building it all month, but we went over the time of the card and all the matches that we have, and we just don't have time for the RVD and Sabu match. And Jim Cornette, he looks like he's about to blow a gasket, and he goes, What the hell did you just say? You don't have time for Rob Van Dam? You don't have time for Mr. Pay-Per-View? You're going to rob this man out of his pay-per-view money? You're not robbing just this man out of his pay-per-view money. You're robbing me out of my pay-per-view money. And Shane's like, calm down, Jim, calm down. So, instead of having it at the pay-per-view, we're going to have it tonight. And Jim's like, what freaking difference does that make? If we have it tonight, tomorrow, it doesn't matter. You're robbing this man and me of our paychecks. And buddy, I don't like it. Now, there must be something that you can do to compensate us for our losses. Shane's just like, unfortunately, that's just the way things are here. You know, we have a time structure, and y'all didn't. I guess Dad didn't see y'all's match as important, and he's like, not important. Y'all, see, that's what's wrong with this company nowadays. You go in there and you let anybody walk in this company all willy-nilly when you got the best wrestler in the world right here, right in front of you, and you can't even recognize it. And that's a damn shame. That's what it is. Shane's like, well, I mean, your match is up next, so y'all can either go out and compete, or y'all can forfeit. And if y'all don't go out to compete, then I'm going to have to suspend both of y'all. Jim Cornette's just like, he's like, I can't believe this crap. I can't believe this crap. Come on, Rob. And Rob, you know, he's just like, he just shakes his head and he walks off. And that match is up next, which is Rob Van Dam versus Sabu. It was supposed to be at the pay-per-view, but as I was booking out the card and the time that I'm allowed, I just didn't have time for it. And I really didn't want to put it on the pre-show, but I really didn't have time for the match, so we had to move it to SmackDown, unfortunately. But everything happens for a reason. I'll just put it that way. And we move on to that matchup. We do not move on to that matchup. I'm an idiot. I forgot that this segment, I thought this was after that match, but I guess not. So we see Owen Hart. He's backstage. And he sees the Hart Foundation locker room. As you know, Owen Hart doesn't go in the Hart Foundation locker room anymore after him and Brett had the falling out. And, you know, he stands for a minute and he thinks about it for a second and he just opens the door and Davey Boy's sitting there and Owen's just like, hey, you're just the guy I was looking for. Davey kind of looks at him confused and he's like, me? Owen's just like, yeah. He goes, I know that we haven't been seeing eye to eye lately, and, you know, I've been possessed with winning, obsessive over winning the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship. And Davey's just like, yeah, you know, it's a hard mentality. You want to be the best. I understand that. And he's just like, so I apologize for being a jerk to you. Davey's just like, I accept your apology. So, let me guess, you come in here to sweet talk me and to butter me up to be your tag team partner tonight, eh? Owen's like, yeah. Davey's like, well, unfortunately, your brother already beat you to the punch. And Owen kind of just stands there for a minute and he's like, what? Brett already beat me to the punch. What? Davey's like, yeah. You see, he asked me long before you did. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, he asked me on Monday when he already planned the match. And Owen's like, yeah, that's typical of Brett. That's typical of Brett. He already had his partner picked out and everything like that. Who's he going to leave me with? Jim? You think I want to team up with Jim? Huh? You think I want to team up with Jim Nahart, of all people? And Davey kind of stands up and he's like, hey, that's family. And Owen's like, I don't care. I don't care if it's family or not. Right? You and I both know that Jim hasn't won a match since being in the World Wrestling Federation. And I'm not going to let a loser like him bring me down. Matter of fact, you can team up with Brett because you're a loser just like he is. And Davey's like he kind of stands there and he's taken back by it for a second. And he's just like, you know what? I'm not sorry for everything that I did and everything I said to you. You want to be with a loser like Brett? And be with the loser like Brett. But you and him and everybody else and the Hart Foundation who doubts me will soon realize that Brett's time is over and done with. And it's my time. Because I am the best there is, best there was, and best there ever will be. Not Brett. So I'll see you tonight in the ring. And then Owen just walks off, you know. And Davey Boy kind of just stands there and he shakes his head in anger and frustration. And he just shakes his head. In this matchup, we see Taz as he beats Big Boss Man in 8-10 by submission with the Taz mission. Match got a 75. Taz with a 74. Big Boss Man with a 69. This advances the Raven's Headache storyline. Announcing a color commentary gave the match a boost. After the match, we see the Hardys jump Taz and beat Taz up. They beat him up. As Raven comes down, and he talks smack while he's doing it, and he grabs the ECW World Heavyweight Championship, and he holds it in Taz's face, you know, as he just, you know, he's just saying whatever he's saying to Taz as the Hardys beat him up. And Taz then, you know, he's out. They beat him up, leave him there, and everything. This segment got a 95. It gained heat. Raven came across well, and announcing color commentary gave the match a boost. We move on to the next segment, which is a promo by The Rock. The Rock did not do well without a script to follow. What the hell? I hate when the game just does random shit like that. It's so weird. You know? Like 1 minute it's just like, he did a good job without a script. And then the next one is just like, hey, he didn't do so good without a script. Which is weird. I don't get it. I don't get it. How? He's the number one talker in the company. He's the best talker in the company. I don't get it. But that ruined my train of thought. Anyway, in this promo, Michael Cole interviews The Rock about the upcoming Triple Threat Intercontinental title match at the pay-per-view, and The Rock's basically saying, like, he doesn't care if it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He doesn't care if it's Jericho. He's going to win back the Intercontinental Championship because he's The Rock. He's good. He is destined. He is handpicked by Vince McMahon himself to be the future of the World Wrestling Federation. And it will be on him if somebody like Stone Cold Steve Austin won the Intercontinental Championship. And it will be a disgrace to the company for somebody like Chris Jericho to continue to be the Intercontinental Champion. The only person who deserves to be Intercontinental Champion is The Rock. You know, The Rock is destined for great things. Not Chris Jericho, not Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock. We move on to the next segment here. And it is that matchup, which would have been a good matchup, actually. It would have been a really good matchup. In a bout that had great wrestling and good heat, Rob Van Dam defeats Sabu in a hardcore match. In 12:24 by pinfall with a 5-star frog splash. This match got an 88. Jim Cornette and Rob Van Dam have pretty good chemistry together. Rob Van Dam with a 95. Rob Van Dam also super over, along with Eddie Guerrero and Sabu with a 74. Not bad. So it also benefited the match style now with the guys, because Sabu's not that popular. I think he's like 50, but he got a 74. Not bad at all. Match got an 88. Not bad. Not bad little match. We move on to the next segment. And see, like, Owen Hart did superb without a script. He had the crowd in the palm of his hands the whole time. But The Rock couldn't do it. I think Owen's mic skills is like 80 something, and The Rock's is like 95. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm breaking kayfabe here and telling you everybody's stats and everything like that, but I don't get it. I don't get how the game's so random like that sometimes. It bothers me. But we see Bret Hart's music hits, the Hart Foundation music hits, and out comes British Bulldog and Bret the Hitman Hart. And Owen comes out and he goes, you know what? He comes out with a mic and he goes, you know what? Everybody always says that blood is thicker than water, but I don't know. Because you see, my blood are the people that others want me to call family isn't a family. You know, the people that I thought had my back and would cheer and root for me never had my back to begin with. They're always jealous and envious of my success. I won King of the Ring the first year that I was here. I won the Intercontinental Championship. I won multiple championships. I won multiple gold tag team championships. I done everything in this company that there is to do except win the World Wrestling Federation Championship. I had one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history when I beat Brett. But you know what? That was overshadowed and overlooked because that night in the main event, he beat Yokozuna for the championship. So what should that made me, huh? That should have made me the #1 contender. No, I still had to fight, scratch and claw, just to get my match and my opportunity against Brett at SummerSlam. And even in that match, I got screwed out of the championship. So everybody wants to say blood's thicker than water. I found somebody that I ride these roads with and somebody that I could call a brother. And that man is this man. And Double J Jeff Jarrett's music hits. And out comes Jeff Jarrett, the European champion and British Bulldog. He kind of looks frustrated. And he goes, yeah, you know who this is, don't you, Davey? The man that beat you for the European Championship. A man that's a winner. A man who can actually defend his championship, unlike you. Unlike Brett, who claims that he's the best there is, best there was, and best there ever will be. Well, you're looking at him. Brett's washed up. Brett should go to the retirement home where he belongs and live out the rest of his days there instead of being in the ring. It's time for you to go, Brett. It's time for you to go. Then we go to that matchup. 92. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I figured it would, yeah, I figured he would hold the match down a little bit. But hey, that's okay. They got great chemistry teaming together, which I already knew that one. But in a sectional match, Owen Hart and Double J Jeff Jarrett defeat Bret Hart and Davey Boy Smith in 13-28 when Owen pinned Davey Boy. Jeff Jarrett was a weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody else. This match got a 92. So Owen picks up the momentum moving forward to the No Mercy pay-per-view this Sunday. We move on to our next segment, which is our closing segment, and it's basically a rundown of the pay-per-view. We have a huge main event, a tag team matchup, when Triple H teams up with his former friend and rival Shawn Michaels as they take on their former best friends, Scott Hall, their former Clique members, their best friends Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, the invaders from World Championship Wrestling, trying to take over and destroy the World Wrestling Federation, but we are not going to let that happen here. These two men are set and determined not to let that happen. If Scott Hall and Kevin Nash wins, then Sting, their ringleader, will be getting a World Heavyweight Championship title shot, the WWF World Heavyweight title shot. And if Shawn Michaels and Triple H win, then they all must return back to WCW, never to be seen again. And then we also have two other big matches on that card when Owen Hart takes on Bret the Hitman Hart in a submission match up. We will also see Kane versus The Undertaker in a Buried Alive match. This is it. Winner take all type situation here with the loser receiving death. Loser's gonna die. Buried alive. Also on that card, we will be seeing a triple threat Intercontinental Championship matchup when The Rock takes on Chris Jericho and Stone Cold Steve Austin for the Intercontinental Championship. We will also be seeing Eddie Guerrero taking on Ultimo Dragon in a mask versus title matchup. We will also see the World Wrestling Federation World Tag Team titles on the line when the Dudleys take on Edge and Christian. And we will also see more big matches on that card. There's so many matches on that card, I can't even begin to comprehend how much we have for you. More matches are going to be announced on Sunday Night Heat. Tune in to Sunday Night Heat, which is right before the No Mercy pay-per-view. Tune into that, guys. I'm going to go ahead and finish the show. The show got a 95 and increased our popularity in 36 regions. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and finish the show. What other matches do we have? Oh, yes. We have Taz versus Raven for the Hardcore Championship. We have... Oh, Lord. We have a lot of big matches slotted in for that. Let's see what's going on in the world around us here. Let's see what we got going on over here. Eddie Guerrero is a fan of Taz. Natural talker. Yep, I found that one out. Thank you, Eddie Guerrero. SmackDown with a bunch of viewers. Thank you. And drug test fees. Alright. So, we are going to move on to Sunday Night Heat. We're going to book Sunday Night Heat, and then we're going to book the No Mercy pay-per-view. My name is Dylan the Villain, guys. Thank y'all for watching this episode. Like always, we're still probably going to hype the No Mercy pay-per-view on Sunday Night Heat. But we do have some big matches on Sunday Night Heat. We will be seeing Dr. Death Steve Williams take on the self-proclaimed world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, as he trains for his MMA debut, the UFC debut, as he is training to compete in the UFC. WCW did a 55. They are doing absolutely terrible with their new booker. They got rid of Eric Bischoff for some reason. But my name is Dylan Villain. Thank y'all for watching. Like always, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, the subscribe icon will be over the SmackDown logo. If you like this episode and want to go back and watch the previous episode, that playlist will be over last night results and the previous episode of this save. Monday Night Raw will be right here. You can go back and watch Monday Night Raw and catch up on all that total extreme wrestling goodness. My name is Dylan the Villain. With me, as always, is the one and only
Sky Wutai.
And like we always say here at Pro Am Gaming, if you can't play with each other, do what I'm doing right now and
play with yourself.
See y'all on Sunday Night Heat.